bloody hot in the shed today, but we're going to do a bunch of measurements and just work out how much clearance we need there, setting our bump stop clearance, and how much actual travel of the shock we've got to use. So I've just been taking down a bunch of measurements just down there, and then we're going to rip the shock off, probably take the spring out, reinstall it, and work out a whole bunch of things. And then we've got our base setting done. So at the same time as fixing up these shocks, I feel like we're going to solve a little bit of our extreme sag, extreme droop that we get in our shock. So this is where it usually sits. Sorry, the guard's blowing off at the moment, but it's a really good example. And we'll shoot around to this side, and this is how much suspension droop we have. That is insane. That's basically 2 fists. That's the best part of 12 inches. We check that out. We are... Okay, I'm a little bit full of shit with 12 inches, but 180 mil. So 7 inches, maybe? I think. That's a lot. We have a nice clean shock now. So we're going to take a series of measurements, check our dampening, what setting that's on, and then just compare them and see how we can set this this shock up so that we have everything in the correct thing. So we're aiming for approximately 70 to 80 mil of shock travel. That does include the bump stop, so the bump stop does take up roughly 30 to 35 mil of that. But I've just found that I've got these other springs sitting here, which are 5 kg springs. The current ones that we have in here are 6 kg. So the benefit that these here will run is that we theoretically should be able to get some more traction out of these. And if for some reason the car's got too much traction, we can always adjust it a little bit with our dampeners and also the tyre pressures. So I think it's better to be able to have that ability to have the traction there, and be able to dial the grip out than to be trying to find the mechanical traction. So a little bit about these springs. So these ones here, this 2000, well 20,006, it means this coil, the spring length is 200 mils long, which it's 205. Oh no, sorry. 200 mil long, and the 06 means that these are 6 kgs, and this lot here is 220 mil long and they're 5 kgs. So theoretically that should be 220, which they are, and 5 kgs. So we're going to swap these in shortly. First I'm going to set the shock up inside the car, back in the tower, and we're going to do a few measurements. Right, so remove the spring from here. We'll just do a bit of a push test on it. We're going to wind this to the hardest setting and to the softest setting, and then just see how the shock's operating. Try to chuck you guys like that. And yep, that looks good enough. So full hard, which is about 12 clicks. Now I'll go full soft. So on soft, the shock seems like it comes back way faster. And on hard, it's actually harder to push down, but also takes longer to come back. So with my body weight pushed hard onto the top, I can compress this approximately 15 mil. But with the car's obviously heavier. It's also got the spring in there. So at a guess, I would say that bump stop could compress up to 25 mil maybe. So yeah, let's get it thrown in the car now that we've checked out what soft and hard it sort of looks like, and that the shock's operating smoothly throughout the range. So all set up now with the jack under the wheel there, no spring in there. So we're going to jack this up to max height, take a measurement. Judging by the other side, we haven't got a guard on here, so it's hard to tell, but we need to be 60 mil away from this inner guard, as that's approximately where the tyre's going to start hitting into our over fender. So just hit the bump stop, and we're at 124, and we are now fully compressed from the bump stop, and we are at 97, 27 mil that the bump stop's compressing. Just make sure she's definitely right up. We're getting a little bit more out of it. 94. So that bump stop compresses from 35 mil basically right down to 5 mil. So we're aiming to have the wheel at about 60 mil, so around about there, and we're currently sitting at 92. So if we were to raise it by 32 mil, that will give us our correct bump stop height, and that'll also raise up our excessive droop. So I've actually maxed it out. So we've got 31 mil higher on the body, which will mean we have 31 more mil worth of shock travel. Pretty good. Okay, so we got to basically 64 mils of tyre clearance. If you have a feel around, there's absolutely no way this tyre can hit anything other than our rear over fender, and the over fender comes down about 60 mil, but out, over the tyre. So we should, on full squat, basically the tyre will be just coming underneath our guard. That is good. That is very good. Definitely happy with that. So everything that we are about to do on this side, we'll be able to transfer over onto the other side. So it's not like we have to do this process twice, because theoretically the car's symmetrical. One side should be similar to the other, or the same as the other. So yeah, let's get this back on the bench, and we'll go get our other springs installed. On spring ready to install. Let's get the sucker in the car. Right, so I've raised this up 15 more mil. That makes our measurement between that locking collar on that one 105 mil. And we've basically maxed out our body adjustment, so the tube is as far in as it can go. So let's get the wheel on and let's check out what ride height we're sitting at. Right, so we are 115 away from our inner guard. The stop's at about 60, so we theoretically have 55 mil of travel from ride height. Kind of aiming for that 70 to 80. So technically I need to raise this by 15 mil. This thing's going to be jacked. I don't know if I like that, but we've definitely got almost twice the amount of travel than we did before, literally with a few little adjustments. And considering once the weight of the vehicle comes down on it, we're probably going to lose another 5 mil, I reckon. We're putting it down to roughly 50 mil. Do we raise it up? So I think we can actually drop it down on the ground now and see what our actual ride height's going to be. So this gives a really good comparison of the changes we've made. So that left rear tyre is just on the ground, and that right rear tyre is off the ground by probably 50 mil. So quite a big difference. We've reduced the actual droop, which was absolutely horrible. It was hard to get the wheels on and off due to the Rocket Bunny kit. And we've increased our amount of shock travel. And hopefully give the car a bit more traction. I really should have done a before and after bounce comparison. So before I'd actually changed this one and I bounced on the back, it felt stiff as a brick shithouse. So we'll see if we can see the difference anyway. And to keep the test fair, I've got both shocks set on the full soft mode. So just doing the bounce test on that, the difference is night and day. This one just instantly back to where it should be. That one there's quite soft and plush, you know, and I can feel the traction out of that side. So pretty damn happy with that. I'll just do some final measurements, make sure I'm happy with that ride height, which actually kind of looks huge at the moment, but I'll transfer that all over to there. Just got the shocks back in the old girl. They're all adjusted up and whatnot. And just going to be doing an oil change. Hopefully nothing funny comes out, because off to foreign rotary tomorrow. Go do some testing. Got a few things that I want to change around, just trial out, see what it does, you know, some mainly ride height things. So yeah, let's change the oil and get into it. So 5:30 in the morning and we're off to foreign rotary. Gotta get the car loaded up. Sometimes I do feel a little bit sorry for the neighbours. It's a little bit cold, 14 degrees. Loaded and ready to head down. Oh, I feel ill. It's not even that early. I hate getting up early. Sun's starting to come out. Car is ready. So we're taking down about a couple of brand new tyres. The rest are just second hands. So probably only going to get about one lap per set of tyres, I'm guessing. And should be able to test out the drift bit that was installed from D1NZ, and that will give us some good information on whether our testing's going well or not. So really excited to try that out. Let's get on the road and check our recycling down first. Oh, I love drifting. I really do. Pepper gonna be a boy. Kill mate. What you doing, mate? Having a nap. Can I have a nap? Why not?
I'm gonna drive.
Oh. There it is. A little bit of smoke coming out. Started now. Alright, so we made down to forward rotors. A few adjustments over here. So our first one, we've wound this down to 95mm between that collar and that collar. This brings a little arm captive, and going to raise the front up a tiny bit as well. So just raised the front up, so our adjustment between the collars here is 95mm, so it should be a 10mm raise on our front. So first run out, we had a bit of washiness in the front, so had tyres at 30 psi, dropped those down to 26 hot, and the rear shock settings, we had those on 4 soft and we've gone to 6 and 22 psi in the rear tyres. So going to try 18 psi and 6 on the dampeners, see what happens. 2019, we actually went on the international track and it felt pretty good. The front's got better feeling now. Didn't feel like it was, it's kind of like, almost felt like it was coming off the ground a little bit like notchy. So yeah, dropping the front tyre pressures definitely helped. So down at 26 hot on those. Absolutely fried the rear tyres and actually spun on the last section. Yeah, we're gonna drop the ride height down 5 more mil in the back. Still got a heap of travel in there, and I think that's probably going to be the changes. Go a little bit softer in the springs again, with dampeners, so down to setting, go down to like setting 3, see what that's like. Balls! weapon. You can definitely feel it like squat down. Now I've hit the dampness softer. Feels like it's gaining some real good traction. I don't know why, but my fan fuse blew and this fan here is not working. So I'm gonna have to have a look into that. It's got a tiny bit hot. So wicked day of testing. Very happy that we come down, and thank you very much to Ford Rotor for the getting us in, and Taylor, absolute legend, so keen to help us out. We're going to load up and back on the road. Any last words?
That should be in the car, not on the ground. I'm going to do the most important job of the day.
What's that? Thanks mate, appreciate it. Right, we're all loaded. Wicked day of testing. So grateful that I got opportunity to come down, and ended up finishing off with lowered the rear 15mm today, put the dampeners on setting 3 soft, and 18 psi on the rear tyres and 26 psi on the front tyres hot. Car's feeling pretty good. One small thing I picked up on today is on full lock, starting to feel a little bit of crabbing in the car. But, apart from that, I feel like we've made some massive progress today, and I'm so happy with it. So bring on Manfield.